shown. Red lights are going on. Oh, and a bit of a jump start there from the number 6 car from the second row of the grid of Simon Bolter. Not a great start from Ollie Collett by the looks of it either, as they head up towards Hatchett's for the first time. So it's Peter Bove leading, Richard Jenkins in second place. That's Chris Goff in the number 2 car, trying to outbrake Simon Bolter and get up into third position. I suspect Simon Bolter might find himself with a penalty come the end of this race, because he did move when the red lights went on rather than when they went out.
But it is Bove up front. Jenkins is up to second now, the former Locos man. But there is the leader, the great big rear wing on the back of the Derby that is driven by Peter Bove. Then Jenkins second. Third is Chris Goff, who had a really good season last year. He, I think, suffered damage at Silverstone in an incident. Martin Kemp has come through from row 4 to run there in 4th position. We certainly see round the back here, Ian, there are some pretty dry lines developing, which I don't think we were expecting to see today, which could add to the remainder of the day's racing.
Yep, yellow flags, and that's the number 11 car that's gone off. That's Ian Barley in his Race Kits Falcon. He's gone off into the barriers there at the exit of Brooklands Hairpin. So we'll see if that's going to be a problem or not. There we can see the PRS going through, the number 17 car of Richard Rothery. He's got Matt Owen, number 39, next to him. But there are the leaders. They're going over the start and finish line to complete their first lap of the race. They're going to head down to Hatchett's Hairpin now, and it's very close indeed for the lead of the race. You can see we're just picking up that 17 car of Richard Rothery. We've seen that car win many races in the past in the hands of Ed Pither and David Bartholomew. As we go on to the second lap of the race, then it's still being led by Peter Bove. There he is, with Richard Jenkins in second and Chris Goff in third at the end of the first lap. Yeah, it's all very close at this point, isn't it, between the front runners. I'm going to see going through shot there up towards Senna, and this is where Richard Jenkins has really started to put Peter Bove under pressure. Very different design philosophies, but through on the inside line goes Richard Jenkins, but there's yellow flags waving there, and Richard Jenkins acknowledges them and is waving Peter Bove back through. This has got very awkward. Yes.
Martin Kemp's taken the lead.
Yeah, well, Peter Bove, I think, is going more slowly than he needs to there. I wonder if Peter Bove's safety car is why. So the safety car boards are showing that's why Peter Bove is going slowly. So I think they're going to sort themselves back out in order. But Martin Kemp, meanwhile, he's realised now. He's back, and I'm sure he's horrified that he's made that mistake. Now he's realised what has gone on, and we'll see what happens from here. I certainly imagine he'll have a conversation with the clerk of the course after the race. But it looked like some drivers had spotted the safety car flags and others had not. So we'll see what goes on from here. Yeah, it all got a little bit awkward there, didn't it, for a few moments. Martin Kemp has come across the line as the leader after 2 laps of what should be a 15-minute race. And you see the safety car boards out, and at the front of the queue now will be the 750 Motor Club's safety car. Yeah, so it's the 11 car of Ian Barley. Right, so Martin Kemp's now sort of letting them back through, which to where was he at the previous?
He was 4th.
He was 4th. So okay, that's fine. So that's sort of going to work out. I'm sure he'll still have a word with the clerk of the course, but at least is given those places back, and we are going to sort of go from the order we were before all of that happened. The car that's off, say in Barley, that's the car off at up at Brooklands. Managed to, I imagine, just ran out wide and then found himself into the barriers there. There is the car, and he's gone into the sort of foam blocks there. Looks like there's still some damage to that front right corner, though, doesn't there? I'm afraid that will need to be attended to before he can go racing again. But certainly it's been a busy afternoon so far for the recovery crews that have had to recover cars from all of the races that we've had so far today. All the different parts of the circuit as well, it feels like. So it's not like one particular part of the track is catching drivers out. And yeah, I don't think that front right corner is really connected to much, is it? No. And of course this is the part of the circuit that the cars are now approaching, so they're going through that area very sedately to make sure that the recovery can be completed safely. But yeah, that track certainly is drying out a little bit, and it is interesting. I mean, as I said to you earlier on, I think it was Ben Panner said there was so much grip this morning when it was properly wet, and now it is really in those horrible in-betweeny conditions. That's when we're probably seeing more cars going off, more mistakes being made. Yeah, some drivers saying that they're only lapping
sort of a second or so quicker yesterday in the dry test sessions, which is absolutely remarkable to have such little difference between the dry and the wet. Places like Fruxton as well, I think, similar type of thing. Not quite as extreme as that.
Must be a peculiarity of the particular surface that those circuits have, I would think.
I think it's where you've got an aggressive tarmac which wears the tyres, but I guess it also provides lots of grip.
Yeah.
But when it's in this in-between stage, like you say, the lap times haven't been as quick as they were in qualifying, and presumably that's why we're seeing these mistakes made, because at the moment it isn't grippy. Although you think you might be able to carry the speed through when you have those, when you know in qualifying how quickly you're going through the corners in wetter conditions. It must be difficult to think how to drive it, and it's a different part of the track at the minute. It's damper than others. You still see there's puddles out on the circuit in places, and other places there's almost a dry line developing.
There is, but that's not necessarily on the racing line there.
No. But it's a lot damper there, isn't it, than around the back of the track?
It is. It is. The water's just lying a little bit more. The surface perhaps slightly different there to other parts of the circuit. The water collecting in it.
Guess also
to a greater extent.
It's a slower part of the track there, isn't it? The Hatchett's hairpin, so therefore the tyres aren't dispersing as much water.
No, that's true.
As the fast part of the track.
Well, there's the recovery vehicle. I can't see a car behind it though, so it may have already towed it to a position of safety.
Somebody that made a good start, we heard from the beginning of the race, before the race, Jake Doherty started a length on the grid. He got up to 7th in only sort of a lap of racing that we had, so that was a good start from him. Here, it does look like a dry line is there, doesn't it?
Yeah, it's certainly emerging, isn't it? So, and that is a quicker corner, quicker part of the circuit, so that may account for the difference. Still, we have the safety car at the minute, but I think that might be about to change because the circuit is now clear, and I can see beneath us we've got a green flag being made ready. Safety car has indeed pulled in, and the green flag is going to wave with 8 3/4 minutes of the race left to go. We get back underway here at Pembrey in the Raceparts 750 Formula Championship race. There's Ollie Collett trying to make a place on Simon Bolter. That's for 5th position then as they head down to Hatchett's hairpin for the, what are we on, 5th time in this race.
Yeah, that's right. And I think looking out the window, the rain might be returning after talking about those conditions. But there is Richard Jenkins there in second. Peter Bowe's made a good restart here, though, using all the experience he has. And as you mentioned at the beginning of the before the race, how many championships Peter Bowe has racked up in this category. So probably the most experienced driver we have here this weekend on circuit. There's Jenkins in second in that Shepherd. And then just behind, in third place, the Chris Goff Racing car, driven by the man that designed and built it, Chris Goff. They're in third place. But everything's a little bit more spread out, isn't it, after the restart?
It is at the moment, but still more than half of this race left to go. So we'll see if anything develops in the closing laps here. So they're heading through Honda and back onto the Cowles straight, the start and finish straight here at Pembrey Circuit. So that's 5 laps in the books. Now Peter Bowe, really the first flying lap of the race, that is, a 1:10.32 that he has done. That's about 6.3 seconds outside Bob Simpson's lap record from 2008.
Ollie Collett across the line in 4th, so he's behind these drivers we're looking at on screen, Jenkins and Goff, but he is 5 seconds further back. And Martin Kemp's lost a number of positions, his 7th, so he's also fallen behind Simon Bolter and Jake Doherty. So I wonder if Martin Kemp had a problem on that lap. As you can see here, the rain's starting to fall again, so track conditions will continue to change. And there's Collett then, up to 4th, ahead of Simon Bolter. Drivers with different background. We mentioned Simon Bolter has raced in the historic division as well, which we'll see a bit later on. We'll see those types of cars, the older cars, later on in the programme. But there is Simon Bolter currently running in 5th place for number 6, and 6th place is number 5, somewhat confusingly. The 2 Class B drivers, for drivers that have got less experience or success in the category. But across the line with 6 minutes to go comes the leaders, headed by Peter Bowe. And his lap times are going out, actually. So in quali he did a 1:07. He's doing a 1:11 now, and he's got a 1.2 second margin over Richard Jenkins. The pair of them pulling away from Chris Goff. Chris Goff, though, is a second slower than Ollie Collett there in 4th, and he's taking Simon Bolter with him. Here's Martin Kemp, who's back to 6th. He's got himself back ahead of Jake Doherty, who's in 7th. 8th is Richard Rothery. 9th is Matthew Unwin, and Bill Rutter completes the top 10 after 6 laps.
Yeah, and I think it's starting to rain a bit harder even more now as well, as we're watching the top contenders go through. It'd be interesting to know what kind of setup people had put on these cars as well. We talked about the tyres, but of course the setup can play a part as well.
And I wonder if it does rain a lot, whether the grip level will actually increase bizarrely.
It may well do. It may well do. But we're in these really difficult in-betweeny conditions at the moment. So relatively static up front at the moment. Ollie Collett ahead of Simon Bolter for 4th and 5th. There, those two cars are. You've got the Race Kits Falcon, and for Simon Bolter, the Derby Mark 4/5. The driver from... in fact, the checkered flag has now gone out. So the race has come to an end already. That's caught us out. We've got 5 minutes left on the clock. Peter Bove, then, it is that takes the checkered flag to win the race, and he's done that by 1.7 seconds from Richard Jenkins in 2nd, and Chris Goff 3rd, and Ollie Collett in 4th position. So I wonder if that's because we did have the sort of delayed start, didn't we? And that could be why we've had to, and an extra green flag lap, which probably took up 5 minutes or so. So probably that's why we've had a slightly shorter race than we were expecting. Peter Bove, it is then that's taken the win from Richard Jenkins in 2nd, and Chris Goff in 3rd place. But it was sort of heading towards that kind of result anyway, I'd have thought, Josh, certainly among the top 3 drivers.
Yeah, you'd think so. The only thing that may have happened was Ollie Collett might have been able to catch those in front. But let's take a look at the full results, Ian.
Yeah, thanks, Josh. So Peter Bove it was that took the win, the reigning champion, as he looks to make it 3 in a row. Number 1, the winner then, from number 9, Richard Jenkins, the gap between them 1.7 seconds. In 3rd place, it was number 2, that's Chris Goff in the CGR 2 Evo. In 4th place, number 31, Ollie Collett. He got ahead of Simon Bolter. Number 6 at the restart, Bolter took 5th, but we do need to keep an eye out if there's any post-race penalty applied to him. 6th went to number 42, Martin Kemp. 7th, number 5, Jake Doherty, after that good start to the race. 8th, to number 17, Richard Rothery. Matthew Unwin, number 39, was in 9th place, and Bill Rutter in the baton rounded out the top 10. Martin Depper was 11th, ahead of Hugh Davis and Paul Mason, with the 28 car of Alan Bunter, the final finisher, in 14th position. So rain falling once again here at Pembrey Circuit. Hopefully conditions will be better tomorrow morning when we see the Raceparts 750 Formula cars out for their 2nd and final race of the weekend at around about 10 to 10. Still got plenty more racing to come this afternoon. Still to come, we've got the Demon Tweaks Yokohama Low Cost Championship, the Castle Combe Racing Club Mighty Mini Championship, the Takiwa Type R Trophy, the Raceparts Historic 750 Formula Series, the RLM Racing Sports 1000s, and the K-Tech Racing Clio Sport Championship as well. So lots more to come this afternoon here at a distinctly damp Pembrey Circuit. And we will look forward to those races very shortly indeed. Don't forget, you can find out a lot more information about 750 Motor Club on the 750 Motor Club website, 750mc.co.uk. You'll also find there a link to the digital programme. If you head to 750mc.co.uk/calendar, scroll to the Pembrey event page, you'll be able to find the programme for this event, and also you'll find the live timing as well. So let's head down once again to the pit lane, and we'll hear from Johnny Palmer talking to our top 3.
Another fascinating race here at Pembrey. You have to be on your toes, I have to say, because for many, the race finished there, coming a lot earlier than expected. Peter Bove is always a man on his toes, the number of years you've been competing in this category. Let me first of all do the honours, because that is yours.
Thank you.
Victory Garland. Tricky race because of the conditions. I mean, many people have been saying it's very slippery, and you didn't quite know when the end was going to come, but you raced to the checkered flag, I suppose.
Yeah, it was a kind of weird race because I didn't know how long the safety car had been out for. There was a big pile of mud right on the apex at Honda, so that made it a bit tricky. But it was good at the end. I don't know what happened to Mark because he was quite close to me in practice this morning, so that would have probably been a closer race. But yeah, you're right. You just race who's there and to the flag.
But a comfortable distance in the end on Richard and of course Chris behind him.
I didn't see what the gap between Richard and Chris was, but
closer than it was to you,
yes,
basically.
I suspect they were probably holding each other up a little bit. So yeah, it was a good race.
And good information to run with tomorrow, although the conditions might change again.
Yeah, hopefully we'll have some dry tomorrow, because there's a really old lap record here, which I think everyone's after. And so far, these lucky boots were a Christmas present from my fiance. And so far, I've had 2 poles at Silverstone, 2 wins at Silverstone, 2 poles here and 1 win here. So I need to, keep the clean sweep going.
I'm putting you on the spot here, but when was that lap record set?
Oh, I don't know, about 2008, I think. Okay. So quite a while ago, by Bob Simpson, whose grandson is racing the car today. Or this weekend. So yeah.
So some bragging rights in the paddock to be had, perhaps, if you can beat that tomorrow.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, obviously it depends on the conditions, so we'll see.
Indeed so.
It's quite windy this weekend, so that might put a stop to it as well.
Nevertheless, a really good drive, Peter. Congratulations, another win to add to the tally. Let's move across to Richard. Richard Jenkins finishing in 2nd place. Peter's car just that little bit too quick today, but you had a good scrap with Chris.
Yeah, it was a really good race. The sort of track was drying and then it started raining again. But this is a sort of like basically a new rear end on the car that I built over the winter. Spent a lot of time doing it, and so I'm really pleased that it's done. Gone really, really well. So.
You can spend a lot of time rebuilding bits of the car, all of the car, and then you come out the other side and go, no, I've gone the wrong way here. But that is an improvement for you.
It most definitely is. The car felt very quick. I was keeping up with Peter, which was something I couldn't do last year. So yeah, I'm very pleased with it.
Congratulations. It was a good race, 2nd place, Richard Jenkins. So that is it for the 750, the Raceparts 750 Formula Championship. But we move forward now with the Yokohamas and Demon Tweaks Low Cost Championship.